Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review, and yet another one. It's a dark one from the Nomadic Brewers. There's nothing once again in there about this brewery, um, and I know Robin Gilmore has taken over editorial duties of the magazine. Robin, please, it's Unclejona, please. Can you get back to doing some of the beers? You've been to so many of the breweries, and I love your writing. You're a fantastic lady. Um, please, can we get back to doing some of the beers that are actually in the box that arrives on my doorstep by a nice, friendly man? Um, alas. Anyway, nothing about this brewery. It looks good though. ShinDigger, made in Manchester. It is a toffee stout at 4.5% on the ABV. I believe this beer is supposed to be, um, oh, if it'll focus on there, it's supposed to be some sort of pastry stout. Usually for me, pastry stouts are a lot stronger. Oh my God, why is it not zooming in? Come on. Going to tell us about the brewery itself. There we go. ShinDigger was founded in 2013, so just over 10 years ago, by two mates selling Homebrew, a student house party in Manchester. My God, if I could sell my Homebrew, that would be cool, but I'm too greedy. I just drink it. Uh, our ethos is the same today as it was back then. What's selling beer? That's ironic. Making good times better with fresh, tasty beer. Okay, well, we shall see. Oh, there's a are we still in view? We are. There's a QR code thing. If you want to know more about the brewery and stuff. Um, I have got high hopes for this. This looks proper. It's called a toffee stout. It's called a pastry stout. It's only 4.5, so I'm not sure about that, but we shall see what it tastes like. Um, the hops are Goldings, but that's kind of irrelevant in a stout. But we do have crystal malt, wheat malt, oats in there. We've got some chocolate malt, black malt, and of course we have pale malt in there. So I'm imagining that there's quite a lot of crystal in here, which will give that kind of toffee, sweet kind of flavour. And it's unusual to have crystal in really dark beers because obviously you want that astringency. Um, yeah, you want the dark colour. So patent malt, black malt, those kind of things. Chocolate malt is a kind of misnomer, really, because um, it's more to do with giving a chocolatey colour as opposed to a chocolate taste, because it is a pretty dark, roasty bad boy. Um, believe it or not, when I was homebrewing like these two chaps, and my homebrewing journey started in the 90s. So Jesus, I've got 20 years on these bad boys. Um, yeah, I had chocolate malt and I actually ate some. Uh, it's good to chew on malts. It's good to chew on hops sometimes, just to, or at least make a hop tea out of. It's good to get to know your ingredients, shall we say? And I was really surprised when I crunched into some chocolate malt. It does not taste like chocolate at all. Crazy. Right, let's dive in to this bad boy. Got the old tulip glass as ever. Oh, I went a bit aggressive. Oh, wow. This is fierce, man. Look at that. That is a king head. That, am I even going to be able to get it all in? No, that's what she said. My God. Where are we? Three fingers head, maybe four? That's ridiculous. Looks like a toffee kind of crunchy thing. And those bubbles mean that that head is going to disappear very, very quickly. So don't panic about that. Look at the color. It's like a cream or a creme brulee kind of thing. And this has been in the fridge for a few hours, always worrying about exploding beer cans these days. Quality control in craft breweries is not, in my estimation, what it should be. And yeah, I've had a few exploders of late. Right, let's get my nose in this bad boy. Yes, it does smell like toffee and stuff. Right, let's get that in there. And let's get a picture before the head disappears, because I'm going to give my token thumbnail for when this kind of things happen. I stare at huge head. So we were over 3 fingers. Now we're just under. We're 2.5. So this will die down. It will abate. It will appease. Very interesting. Okay, lovely, lovely toffee, creme brulee. There's vanilla in there. There's yeah, tiramisu type things going on. Lovely, really sugary actually. It smells like when you have a dark. I'm not really a coffee man. I'm more of a tea man, but I do drink coffee sometimes. Usually it's espresso, but this smells like to me a filter coffee that you've put a bit too much sugar in. Maybe demerara sugar. It's that caramelly kind of thing going on, but a little bit of coffee too. Right, where are we? Where are we? We're almost at a finger's head, just over. So that head is going to disappear really, really soon. Cheers and beers. Let's dive into this bad boy. And if I remember, there was something that I should have said the other day, but the video was getting a bit long, so I thought I'd save it. So we'll dive in and we'll see if I remember. You know what I'm like, dear viewer. And if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. If you're entertained like a gladiator does, please click like as well. If you're still here 7 minutes in, you must be listening to some of the stuff I've been talking about. So give me that thumbs up. Why don't you do it now while I'm taking a sip of this lovely stout? Yeah, it's very much like a light pastry stout. So they've stopped the yeah, the fermentation, or perhaps have then topped up after they've killed off the yeast. I'm assuming that's what they've done. Back sweetened it a little bit. It really does taste like toffee. Um, it's like that coffee, very sweet coffee, uh, that kind of, yeah, tiramisu, that caramel type thing. Um, Yep, can't really taste the hops at all. They're just there for a little bit of bitterness. If there was any astringency, and it does have quite a lot of dark hops in there, that's kind of been masked by, I'm assuming, this is all done by the crystal malt, and maybe a bit of the oat as well. Um, it's reasonably light. I mean, it's only a 4.5% beer, so it's light on taste. Yeah, I'm reasonably sure this has been back sweetened with something, maybe even with some sort of caramel, or maybe they've got those Belgian cracked sugars that you can buy, and put those in. I've used those before. They work really well actually for giving that sweet hit. I think for a light beer, this is perhaps a little bit too sweet. Um, Probably should be a little bit more balanced. Let maybe a little bit of that astringency through. If it was a stronger beer, the alcohol would carry the bitterness a little bit more, because you do get a bit of alcohol type burn, and then the sweetness wouldn't be so pronounced. But this is meant to be a light beer. This is almost like a session pastry stout. I'm glad they didn't call it that, but that's kind of what I think it is. Well, I've still got a little bit of that cold still hanging around, unfortunately. That's been like 3 months now. My goodness. And like, the winter has gone. We're well into spring. We're into British summertime on the clocks. For God's sake. Crazy. Oh, wow. That, my goodness me, is really, yeah, it's almost like got a marshmallowy type thing. And there's nothing on the label about it having any marshmallows in there. There's not that much in there on the label, to be honest. Let's zoom in again. See if it says anything. Water, barley, oats, wheat, hops, and yeast. Manchester. Yeah, doesn't really say, does it? So, I actually like this. I do like this. If you like a pastry stout and it is a school night, as it were, um, as it is, because I'm working tomorrow. Yeah, but you don't want to have, a 6%er or even heavier. Yeah, there's a few around that you can buy in the supermarkets at the moment, and they're at sort of 6, 7, 8%. If you don't want to have that, and you want to have a mild one, a session beer, this is one you probably could consider. And when the commercial stouts are all lowering their ABV, yeah, why not bring some other flavors into the game, as it were. Now, yes, what I was going to say earlier on was, let me finish this bad boy, and then I'll speak to you again. Oh, lovely stuff, actually. Um, yes, as the Kent tasting panel, should I say? Although I am a trainer, um, we held a tasting event a couple of weekends ago. Yeah, it's about a week and a half ago. And it was at the Royston, my kind of favourite place to be at the moment. And Andy's a really good guy, and he does try to sort me out. Don't always agree with everything he says, but yeah, he's a good guy. One of the good guys, should I say? Yeah, so we had a tasting panel event there, um, and yeah, there was a lady that was on a previous iteration of the tasting panel. I can't find any of her details on any of the paperwork that I've got. It's all electronic these days, so it might have been in an older iteration, shall we say. Um, and she was drinking a flavoured stout, not unlike that one, but it had a little bit of chili in it. So it was a kind of spicy stout, which I really like, so long as it's not obscenely chillified. I do like a little bit of chili and dark beers, especially when they've got a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of chocolateness. It really does work well together. Um, I wouldn't drink it all the time. I wouldn't do a session on only chili beer. That would end in tears, usually the next day, I think. But she said, "What is the difference between a stout and a porter?" And my answer was perhaps not what she wanted to hear. Um, but I said to her, my answer was, "Does it matter?" The reason why I said that was because both porters and stouts, unless they're a specialty beer, and this one might have qualified as a specialty beer because of the addition of the chili in there, um, for camera, and I suppose for other judging variations, stouts and porters are both judged under the same category. Um, and to a certain degree, they are kind of interchangeable these days, shall we say. Um, Obviously, stout used to be called stout porter as opposed to normal porter. pardon me, and was originally a little bit stronger, a little bit heartier. Everything was more stout, especially in the London drinking dens. This is before the Guinnesses of the world kind of appeared and the dry stouts appeared. Um, so it was a more heavy kind of porter, if you like, and porter was the lighter version. These days, stout seems to be becoming lighter and lighter and lighter. Um, Although you do have impies, imperial stouts, shall we say, and Baltic porters. I always say balders, but no, Baltic porters. That's the other iteration of a kind of stronger version of the beer. And you do have strong miles as well, which seems like a misnomer. Um, but when you actually dive into it, it does kind of make sense. But I'm going off topic as usual. Um, but yeah, why not meet me in the comments down below? What do you think, dear viewer? What do you think the difference between stout and porter is? And does it matter? Are they more or less these days interchangeable? Because kind of that's where I think we're sitting at the moment, especially when you're doing tasting or you're doing judging or something along those lines. Um, is it a good beer or is it not a good beer? That's kind of what you want to think about. Whereas style wise, stouts and porters are so interchangeable that it doesn't really matter. Um, hey, that's just my view. Anyway, this has been a really nice beer. I have very much enjoyed it. That is ShinDigger Stout, Toffee Stout, I should say, at 4.5% ABV. And as usual, Unclejona will return with another beer review, and that'll be coming up real soon.